Greetings and welcome to week 2. This week we're going to talk about creating a new document and inserting text and a few other objectives. When you start Microsoft Word, documents that you have recently opened, if you have opened any, will display on the left. On the right, you can select either a blank document or a template. And a template is a pre-formatted document that you can use as a starting point and then change it to suit your needs. When you create a new document, you can type all the text, or you can type some of the text and then insert additional text and some other sources. As you type, the insertion point moves to the right, and when it approaches the right margin, Word determines whether the next word in line will fit at the end of the sentence or whether it needs to go back to the right margin and start again. If the word doesn't fit, it'll move the entire word down to the next line. Now when you create a new document, you can type all the text in, you can type some of the text, you can insert, you can do all this other stuff. There's great stuff to do. Getting back to Word moving to the next line, what this is called is word wrap, and it means that you press enter only when you reach the end of a paragraph. It's not necessary to press enter at the end of each line of the text because it'll do it itself. When you press enter, space bar, or tab on your keyboard, characters display on your document to represent these keystrokes. These characters will not print out and are referred to as formatting marks and not or non-printing characters. In Microsoft Word 2013, the default font is going to be Calibri, and the default font size is going to be 11 points. The default left, right, top, and bottom page margins are going to be 1 inch. The default line spacing is going to be 1.08, which provides slightly a little more space between the lines than single spacing. The default for paragraphs is 8 points, and that's slightly less than the height of one blank line of text. The default view is going to be print layout view, which displays the page borders and all displays the document as it'll appear when you've printed it out. To add visual interest to the document, insert graphics. These can be pictures, online pictures, charts, drawing objects, shapes, diagrams, lines, and such as that. And if you want some additional visual interest, you can apply an attractive graphic format to the text. Add, resize, move, format pictures, and add a page border. Text effects are decorative formats that you can use, such as shadowed, mirrored text, text glow, 3D effects, and colors that make text stand out. Now, text effects, you can access those from the text effects and typography button on the right, on the font group on the home tab, Word inserts a picture as an inline object. This is the picture is the point, picture is positioned directly in the text at the insertion point, just like a character in a sentence. The layout options button displays to the right of the picture. You can change the layout options to control the manner in which text wraps around a picture or any other object. Sizing handles surround the picture indicating it's selected. You can change that. The corner sizing handles will resize the graphic proportionally. The center sizing handles will resize the graphic vertically or horizontally only. However, sizing with these will distort the graphic itself. So a rotation handle is on there, and you can rotate the graphic to any angle, and it displays above the top center sizing handle. Excuse me. If you select square text wrapping when you want to wrap the text to the left or right of an image, to the left of the picture, an object anchor will display indicating that the selected object is anchored to the text at this location in the document. Alignment guides will display when you're moving or sizing a picture to help you with the object placement. And live layout will show you how the document text will flow and display on the page. Picture styles will include shapes, shadows, frames, borders, and other special effects with which you can stylize or make more visually acceptable to an image. There's even artistic effects, which are formats that make pictures look more like sketches or paintings. And then we have page borders. These can be applied to frame a page and help to focus the information on that page. Excuse me. Word also has predefined shapes and text boxes that you can add to your document. A shape is an object such as a line, an arrow, a box, a call out, or a banner. A text box is movable, resizable container, or text for text or graphics. Use these objects to add visual interest to your document. Click Insert tab, and then in the Illustrations group, click Shapes to display the Shapes gallery for you to choose from. A text box is useful to differentiate portions of text from other text on the page because it's a floating object, a graphic that can be moved independently of the surrounding text characters. In other words, you can move it anywhere you want. You can place a text box anywhere, excuse me, on the page. While you're creating your document, it's useful to preview the document periodically to be sure that you're getting the results you want to get. And then before printing, make a final preview. Be sure that the document layout's exactly as you intended it to be. And make sure that document layout is exactly as your homework expects it to be, or your assignments. Because every single thing that is written in there for you to do, you must follow. Because if you don't, then I have to deduct points. And I don't really like deducting points. I like for you to make this as good a grades as you can. Excuse me. Now, while you're creating the document, as I said, preview it. Make sure that it looks exactly right. It's done exactly the way it's supposed to be before you even print it out or send it to me. Information in the headers, the footers, helps to identify a document when it's printed or displayed electronically. A header is information that prints at the top of every page. A footer prints at the bottom of every page. And to add the file name to the footer by inserting a field. Click Insert tab, then in the header and footer group, click Footer. On the ribbon under the header and footer tools on the Design tab, the Insert group, you can click Document Info and then click File Name. There's so much you can do with Microsoft Word. I used it extensively when I was uh, in school and working towards doctorate. And let me tell you, it was a lifesaver, an absolute lifesaver. Typing 30 and 40 page papers would have been harder to do on an old typewriter, because setting up uh, your formatting, there is no formatting. You're getting type, and that's it. So this is a great instrument. Now, to preview your document, click Print to display the print preview. And then you can select any printer connected to your system, adjust the settings related to how you want to print. Um, on the right, Print Preview will display your document exactly as it will print, but the formatting marks will not display on it, so you don't have to worry about that. And at the bottom of the print area in the center, there's a number of pages and arrows which show you can move from one page to the other in the print view and look at everything that you've got. And on the right, there's a zoom setting, which will enable you to shrink or enlarge for you to view. It's absolutely impressive what this can do. Change document and paragraph layouts. Let's see. Document layout includes your margins. The margins are the space between the text and the top, bottom, left, and right edges of the paper. Paragraph layout includes line spacing, indents, tabs. And in Word, the information about paragraph formats is stored in the paragraph mark at the end of a paragraph. When you press Enter, the new paragraph mark contains the formatting for the previous paragraph, unless you want to change the way the next paragraph looks. Alignment refers to the placement of the paragraph text relative to the left and right margins. Most paragraph text uses left alignment, where the paragraphs are aligned at the left margin, leaving the right margins sort of uneven. Three other types of paragraph alignment are center alignment, which is centered between the left and the right margins; right alignment, where the text is aligned in the right margin with an uneven left margin; and justified alignment, where the text is aligned evenly at both the left and right margins. You have line spacing, which is the distance between the lines of the text in the paragraph. Three of the most commonly used line spacing options are single spacing, multiple, and double. Multiple spacings would be of 1.08, which is what we talked about a little earlier. Single spacing was once the only commonly used spacing in business documents. Now, because there's so many documents that are read on a computer rather than on paper, single spacing has sort of become less popular. Not necessarily obsolete, but definitely not as popular as before. The default line spacing in Word, as we said, is 1.08, which is just a little bit larger than a single spacing to make the text easier to read, because otherwise it would be sort of on top of each other. Many individuals prefer this spacing even on paper, because the lines of the text appear less crowded. Like I said, without it, it's just going to be sitting one on top of the other. When you're doing college research papers and draft documents that need space for notes, you commonly use double spaced, so that there's space for full line of text between each line. We also have to use the indenting. Indenting the first line of each paragraph is a common technique to distinguish paragraphs. To indent the paragraph in your document 0.5 inches, launch the paragraph diagram box from the Home tab. In the paragraph group, in the paragraph dialog box, on the Indents and Spacing tab, under Indentation, click the special arrow and then click first line to indent the first line by 0.5 inches, which is the default. Adding space after each paragraph is another technique to differentiate paragraphs. To indent the paragraph, to add 6 points after each paragraph in a document, click the Layout Page tab and then the paragraph group under Spacing and click after Spin Box up arrow one time to change the value to 6 points. All of these little things you will be using in your chapter, and it'll help you immensely. If you want to display a list of information, you can use a bulleted list, which uses bullets. These are text symbols such as little small circles, check marks, and they're used to introduce each item in the list. You can also use a numbered list, which uses consecutive numbers or letters to introduce an item in a list. Use a bullet list if the items in the list can be introduced in any order. Use a numbered list for items that have definite steps, like step 1, step 2, step 3, so on and so forth, or a sequence of actions, or something that is in chronological order. On the Home tab, in the paragraph group, click bullets to change the selected text to a bulleted list. We have stop tabs, or tab stops, excuse me. They mark specific locations on a line of text. Now you use these to indent and align text, and use the tab key to move to tab stops. Tab stops can be aligned at the left, center, or right. A decimal tab aligns the text at a decimal point. Tab stops are a form of paragraph formatting. Therefore, the information about tab stops is stored in the paragraph mark and the paragraphs to which they are applied. You have what's called a lead character, which creates a solid dotted or dashed line that fills the space to the left of a tab character and draws the reader's eyes, or your eyes, across the page from one item to the next. When the character used for the leader is a dot, it's commonly referred to as a dot leader. We've all seen those, where there's one word and then it's dot, 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 dot. Inserting Smart Art graphic. Smart Art graphics are designer quality visual representations of information. And Word provides a multitude of different layouts from which you can choose. Smart Art graphics can communicate your messages or ideas more effectively than just plain text, and it adds visual interest to the document or to your web page, whichever you're doing. It can be sized and formatted using the Smart Art Tools Design tab. Excuse me. Microsoft's done research which indicates that 2/3 of people who open Word documents never edit them. They just read them. So with more and more documents, being read online, not on paper, it makes a lot of sense that you may want to include videos in your documents, Word documents. And you can insert a link to an online video from a variety of online sources, which enables anyone reading it to view the video and then when they're connected to the internet. On the Insert tab in the Media group, you click Online Video. Here you can search the web for online video, search YouTube, enter an embed code to insert a link to a video from a website, an embedded code, if you haven't read your book yet, is a code that creates a link to a video, picture, or any type of rich media content. Rich media content also has another name. We call it interactive media. That refers to the computer interaction that responds to your actions, for example, by presenting text, graphics, videos, audio, or even games. So in this chapter, you started Word, you practiced navigating the Word window, you've entered, edited, formatted text, you also inserted text from another Word file. Now, having said that, I hope you've done this. I hope you've practiced. The whole idea is practice makes perfect. Graphics, you saw they include or heard they included pictures, shapes, and text boxes. And in this chapter, you format objects by applying styles, effects, and text wrapping options, and you size and position objects on the page. We learned about smart art graphics that visually represent your idea, and there's a whole lot of them that you can choose from. You can also use online videos in your documents, as we just said. Word documents can be formatted to display your information attractively. You can add page border, add bullets, number lists. You can change the margins, the tabs. You can modify paragraph and line spacing. Make sure that you've gone through the chapter. Don't just try to do the assignment itself. You have to read through the chapter and practice everything before you even attempt the assignment. Otherwise, you'll get frustrated, because sometimes we tend to skip over things that we think are too easy. You need to actually do every single last step before you send your project to me. Okay, thank you, and we will see you again in the next week. Happy studies and work hard. Thank you.